You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole. Michael the Chosen, thank you so much for your Patreon membership request. You are bringing us back some Opeth down the rabbit hole. We're very excited for this, and this is a song Thumbnail Lady has never heard, and it's called Burden.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'm really looking forward to this next Opeth from the Watershed. Thanks again, Michael, for bringing this next Watershed song, moment, everything down the rabbit hole. I'm really looking forward to hearing Burden. I've never heard the song before. Kyle loves Opeth, so he always gets excited right before a new Opeth song comes down the rabbit hole. If you guys are as excited as Kyle and as me, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your favorite Opeth down in the comment section below. And before further ado, let's get into it.
Y'all don't know what you're expecting on this one, so embrace. We gotta start that again.
Once upon a time carried a burden inside, sung a last goodbye, a broken rhyme I'd underline. There's an ocean of sorrow in you.
I want your initial thoughts.
It's really good. I am loving this. Like, the piano coming in at the beginning, it was very soft. It's like, okay, you know, where are we going with this? And then that transition, because Opeth is the master of transitions. And he just went da-da-da-da-da-da, and then just started going into it.
It's these jazzy
And
drum
it's, like,
fills that make it smooth.
So jazzy. And then the drum fills, exactly. That's exactly what it is. With the guitar in the background is kind of like bringing you on this wave.
Very wavy, yeah.
And he's coming in with his clean lyrics too, which is, he usually does, actually. He usually comes in with clean lyrics, then goes into a growl, at least with his older stuff.
Yep, for sure.
And it's a very jazzy style of singing as well. Very almost blues-like.
Very blues-like. He's
And-
influenced by both.
Yeah, you can tell with his
Oh, yeah.
music.
Hell yeah.
And I was just getting into the lyrics. I'm not fully sure where the story's going, but it's like in
You
a
picking some?
in like something of sorrow, like a river of sorrow, and so it's a very interesting kind of song or style that's going through.
Right, and it's called Burden, so let's see where it goes.
Saw a movement in their eyes, said I no longer knew the way, giving up the ghost, a passing mind submit to fear, and the wait for redemption ahead.
that guitar solo was insane.
And by the way, that was a keyboard solo mixed in between it
Okay.
with that funky tone.
Yep.
That was the keyboard at that point, and then the guitar solo all ended it and started it before it as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, this was phenomenal. Just getting into that was phenomenal. Very kind of like old school rock and roll, old school like.
Yeah. He pays homage to the 70s and 80s.
That's it. Very 70s and 80s. That's what I'm feeling.
Oh, yeah.
But like super progressive and new age at the same time. So it's like
they are the watershed moment, right? They were for me when I got music.
This I have a bad habit of hoarding musical instruments, and
Yes.
as Kyle is aware, and this is making me want to like pull out the piano from somewhere in the basement, wherever it is.
Exactly,
because you just want to go, and like even that beginning part, because it was very
Dun,
simple. It was a very simple beginning part.
Yeah, the
but
melody
like
there.
it was so perfectly put into it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've noticed about a lot of his music is he has such simple things that he carries throughout the music,
You're
but he
right.
builds and builds and builds and makes it very technical, even
Yeah,
though it
yeah.
started very simple.
I completely agree, and I just love where this is going and how you're enjoying this, because we actually still got 4 and a bit minutes.
Dad should take me now. Count my mistakes and let me through. Whisper in my ear, you've taken more than we received, and the ocean of sorrow is you.
sounds purposely out of tune.
I've always been so curious about this part.
Getting more out of tune. Like when the burden of life just keeps going and going, and then like your life just keeps getting more and more abrupted or obstructed as the guitar gets more out of tune, and you just have to laugh about it.
Jeez, that's kind of what I was like. I was really looking forward to your interpretation at the end there, because like that's confused me my whole life since hearing it.
Like listening to that, just first time hearing it,
Yeah.
and it was in tune, and the guitar just kept getting progressively out of tune. And it's like when you're just going through life, doing what you have to do,
Yeah.
and doing what you need to do, doing everything that you're told to do, just living.
You're doing the monotonous
You're
things.
doing the monotonous things, and
Yeah.
it keeps getting more and more out of tune. The longer you play, the longer you walk, the longer you go, it just gets more and more out of tune.
No kidding,
And then you
right?
just have to laugh about it at the end, and then
Wow,
try
well
to figure
said.
out what you do to get back on tune, to get back in the right spot. And then
Right.
that laughing just becomes, at the end, it just turned into that ticking.
Yeah.
And like
To the metronome to the next song.
the metronome to the next song. Or we were actually just watching the original Peter Pan
Right.
with the ticking crocodile, ticking of death, until the ticking finally left.
Even
and
better, y'all.
So that's what I took from that moment.
Hell yeah.
Is going through life until it just keeps going out of tune, gotta laugh about it until the ticking of death comes and takes you. But that's just me, and I'm really cynical, so.
But still, like, but I think that's why the song's called Burden, and it's such an interesting tone, because it was dark and deeper than it feels at first, right?
It's a lot deeper than it feels. And that was something I had mentioned, is because it starts off with such a
Like the piano piece, the melody is just so soothing.
It's so soothing, but it's very it's not overly technical. It's very just a very normal,
It's basic.
like beautifully basic
Yeah.
piano like piano riff, and then just adding all those layers on top of it that
Yeah.
make it more technical, because that's like life. It's the burden. He actually mentions the oceans of sorrow and
Yeah,
being
he
stuck
does.
within them.
Yeah.
And so if you're stuck within the oceans of sorrow, and everything just, which should have been very simple or simplistic,
Yeah.
is now super complicated and very technical, and you're trying to get through it, and then it's just getting out of tune.
It's incredible. What
It's
a story, eh?
incredible. And like the very end, before while he was playing that guitar, which brings me back to that feeling of the monotony of it, but without it being monotonous, is he kept playing that same few chords over
Exactly.
and over again. It was like a
Kept getting out
spiral.
of tune as it went down.
And but it didn't start getting out of tune until it was kind of like just the guitar playing. 'Cause,
Right,
like,
okay, yeah, yeah.
everyone was playing that same like few verses, lines
Yeah.
over and over again. So it was like it kept you in that spiral until, again, something Opeth does very well is they slowly remove the layers one
Then
at a
they strip it
time, and they
off.
strip it down
Yeah.
until it was just the guitar.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it was just such a beautiful ending. This is such an amazing song.
know.
I would love to know what Burden is actually about, because for me it just feels like the burden of monotonous life.
I think that could be it, because I mean everyone goes through that, but I know you love the guitarist on this
Mm-hmm. I
band,
do.
and the way they battle back and forth at the end, and that waves of sorrow, and it just feels like they were making you crash. But like that's why I wanted to give you my hand and feel how much you were feeling that song, which is something that you're getting even better at, is because your ear for the guitar is now getting so much stronger. So you were even timing the fingers on that solo, and you hadn't heard the solo yet. So it was like, that's also how much Opeth is hitting your muse, because it's still so new and you never heard it, but then it's hitting those things you wish it hit. And that's what I love about Opeth.
And the thing that I love about Opeth is because he does play such homage to the 70s and 80s, to blues and classical and jazz.
Real heritage.
And all that real heritage of music.
One of his album
that-
names.
Is it?
Yes.
That's really interesting. I'd love to take a look at that.
Yeah.
But because of that, it is also super digestible while being so progressive.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
like you guys can't really see what I look like. I'm just swaying back and forth.
Sometimes you can, though, especially in the little
But
corners.
sometimes you can,
You probably
but
saw some fingers that time.
I often am like counting timing or beats or whichever down underneath the camera.
Yeah.
So I do apologize that you don't get to notice those parts. But it's crazy just how on time and on point all of this is, because it does follow classical structure.
It does, and exactly, because I saw you literally pianoing at one point. I saw you drumming at one point. I saw you guitaring at one point. So that's why I get excited, because I also know how much everyone loves Opeth, the Opethians. So like, this is why we love it, and it's always nice to express this art with you. So Michael, thank you so much for bringing us. I know the next song, and I almost wish you got to hear this as a sequence, because it's so cool. Because you see how they end tracks, how like it's always so like, what's going on?
Well, it's going because Opeth is the master at transitions.
Yeah.
Even the end of a song is a transition. Even though I'm not hearing the next song, I can hear the transition already being built into the next play or into the next song that's happening, because he has written all of this with under the guise or under the pre-knowledge that he's going to be playing these in a concert or with the album. So he is a storyteller.
Oh,
that's
sure
why
is.
his transitions are so phenomenal, because as a storyteller, you need to know how to write your way into the next chapter. If you follow creative writing, you follow grammar, you follow any kind of structure, which this song follows perfect structure. All of his songs do.
They do.
And that's why he is such a master at transitions and a master at going into the next song, into the next page, into the next story.
Right.
And that's what I love about Opeth.
That's so true. And Michael is like a legend to me, so we would be honored to interview him on Story Time. So maybe we'll have to reach out to him as well. But like, this band itself has meant the world to me, so it means the world that I can share it with you and everyone else. Michael, thank you so much. We are exiting the rabbit hole though now, folks. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Michael. Peace and love, everyone.
God bless y'all.
Take care, and bye for now.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special shout out to all of our patrons and YouTube members. We appreciate all of your support.